it is working good.
Yeah,
All right.
We're going to put our famous... I can't explain down. That's in the section. What is it called?
Fugler.
Fugler.
Oh, by the way,
Our Fugler doll.
my son bought me this. Look what I got.
Fugler
A
wallet.
Fugler wallet. I needed a new wallet.
Oh, look at how
Yeah,
cute
it's got our ugly little
is.
toothy guy on it.
I like the little green guy.
Yeah. So I have a Fugler wallet. My hemp wallet. I have a nice hemp wallet, but it's falling apart.
In there?
There's nothing in there.
Ugh.
Hey, welcome back to Into the Light with Ryan and Michelle.
Yeah. With our sponsor, Conspiracy Coffee.
I went there today.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I wanted to get his coffee. You got me a gift card.
I did?
From Thad. Thank you, Thad. However, they're not open on Mondays.
They are not.
Yeah.
I
forgot
that's their day off. Yeah.
I found out the hard way. I was so excited. So now I have like one sip of this other coffee.
The other coffee. Well, we have some CBD.
I do have CBD coffee in my car.
Coffee.
It's in my car. Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about that last podcast.
We did. Yeah. If you missed that, we talked about reefer madness and robots. Remember that?
Sexual robots.
You know what? I rewatched Blade Runner the other night. Did you ever watch Blade Runner? Harrison Ford?
With the swords killing vampires, yes?
No, that's just Blade.
Oh, okay.
Blade Runner is it's Harrison Ford early in his career. I think probably right after Star Wars. It's from the 80s. And it's a sci-fi movie. It's based on a book by Philip K. Dick. He wrote a lot of like sci-fi stuff. Like they made a lot of his books into movies. Like I think I, Robot and Minority Report with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So he wrote this one. The book was called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? The movie's called Blade Runner. So anyway, it's about this guy. He's like a cop and he has to hunt down these replicants, which are basically robots who look just like people. And you have to do special tests on them to even tell the difference.
Okay.
And but he falls in love with one of the hot ones. It's implied that he gets it on with the robot. So I thought of our conversation.
So
because it was so lifelike.
Right. So when he hunts him down, what's he do with him? Does he kill him? Oh, he
shoots
kills him.
Yeah.
So can I ask how's it end? Like if he's in love with her, does he kill her?
It's interesting. He doesn't kill her, and then she ends up saving his life. He's about to get killed by this other robot. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Blade Runner.
Yeah. Well,
but it's really interesting because so these replicants have fake memories that were put into their heads.
Okay.
And the only fault that they have is they were built to only last 4 years. In case anything happens, they'll go defunct in 4 years. So none of them have very much time. But they have these false memories. And then at one point, there's like a scene of Harrison Ford's character, and he's thinking about a time he saw a unicorn, and which kind of implies that's obviously not a real memory. So it's kind of implied like he's probably a replicant too, and he's killing these. I don't know.
That's how it ends?
Yeah, it's really like
him trying to decide whether he's.
Well, he kills them all except the girl, and then he and the girl leave town. It's a really. I mean, not much happens the whole movie. It's interesting. There's a sequel with Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford that just came out like 2 years ago or something. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm going to have to watch that now.
It's interesting. It's a slow burn. It is a slow movie, but the visuals are very beautiful. It's interesting.
So iRobot was on all weekend.
I believe that's a Philip K. Dick. I got to look that up. I think so.
So I think we brought that up when we were talking because before.
We did because we were talking about
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Why were we talking about Will Smith? Do you remember?
Oh, iRobot was apparently written by Isaac Asimov. I'm wrong, but same sort of thing. Whatever. Yeah. But anyways, you watched iRobot again?
I didn't watch it this weekend, but when I was scrolling through Facebook, which I don't do a lot, but every once in a while, like once a day or something, I'll just blah, blah, blah. And I think Will Smith is very interesting, and he does a lot of like inspirational or I would call it more like a come to Jesus type thing because he has zero tolerance for lazy.
Yeah.
And he's all about you should be teaching your kids values and work ethic and all of those things.
I think he's a Scientologist.
Oh, that's interesting.
Maybe that's where that comes from. But that's a whole.
I'd like to know more about Scientology.
We'll have to look that up.
There's actually a channel I think on Dish that I could possibly watch and check that out. But he went to swim with sharks. There was a video of him.
Oh.
He's working on his bucket list.
He has a YouTube channel where he does that stuff.
Yeah. And he jumped into the water with lots of different sharks.
Yeah.
And God be with him, because I don't know.
Yeah, he's been doing that. He's been doing that sort of thing, and he started a YouTube channel. Of course, it's really big because he's Will Smith, so he's got like millions.
I enjoy him because
millions of subscribers. He seems like a good dude, right?
I think so. Have you ever seen the movie 8 Pounds?
I have not. In fact, I was just talking about that movie with the other day. Someone asked me if I'd seen it. I've never seen it.
I have it. I'll bring it in for you.
Okay, I'll watch it. The person I was talking to said they hated the movie, though.
Why? Did they say why?
I don't know.
It's very sad. And
maybe that's why.
It's sad and interesting at the same
I'm sure I like all sorts of movies.
I think you would like it. I think that you could see beyond some stuff, and you'd be like, at the end, you're like, whoa. That's kind of how you leave it. You're like, wow. I don't know how to explain it anything other than that.
I'll watch it. I
don't want to give away all the things since you haven't seen it, but
I was literally talking about it last night. One of those weird coincidences that always happens to me. The Scientology, though, invented by L. Ron Hubbard, who was also a science fiction writer. Did you know that?
No.
You should read
as intelligent as you are.
You should read the story of it. It's very strange. He was a science fiction writer, wrote a bunch of sci-fi books, and then one day was like, you know what? The money's in religion, not books.
Oh, that's
started a religion. Yeah.
It's very interesting because I can't think of her name. She's an actress, and she was in Scientology for many, many years, and now she's on the other side. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She's a comedian or something, isn't she? Or plays like a comedy.
She was on sitcoms, I think.
Yeah. She is very
her name's right on the tip of my tongue.
Anti-Scientology
Yeah,
now,
there's been a lot of accusations about it's hard to get out. And,
and I think if you do get out, then you're dead to them. And
absolutely.
I'm very sad about that with certain religions.
Leah Remini or whatever.
Yeah, it makes me very, very, very sad that I don't care if their religion is different than my religion. I think that it's a positive thing in a sense that if people have something they believe in. Unfortunately, there's different strains of religion that are very
extreme.
Angry.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll call it
that, murderous or whatever. You don't like my religion, I'm going to kill you for it.
That's a problem. I mean, there's sects of Christianity. I mean, we're Christians, but there are extremists and all sorts of stuff, and
that makes me sad.
It is sad. Yeah, that's not how you're supposed to treat people. And
why don't we go with that? Because we were talking about this last time about how, especially with the Trump and Obama and the Democrats and the Republicans and the right wing and the left and all of that. And I'm not necessarily political in a sense. I did vote this last time.
Yeah.
First time in my life.
Did you really?
Yes. And I never felt prior to that my vote mattered. And I've
been through both phases of that. I've been through my vote doesn't matter. Then I've been through I'm going to vote. And then I go back and forth.
Yeah, well, I don't understand. So there's one thing that I don't understand is
the Electoral College, right?
That, yes.
Nobody
does.
So that
makes me... Why? I don't understand. I can understand maybe 100 years ago when there was horse and buggies and nobody could go around and collect everybody's vote. So they did the cities or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Where there was a higher population is the way that my husband, shout out to Steve, explained this to me. Because I'm like, what?
You can win the popular vote and lose the election.
Yeah, now
that's
there's
crazy.
The internet, there's cars, there's this or that.
We can handle it.
So we can handle everybody's vote, in my opinion, should count. I don't think there should be one or the other. It should just be tally all the votes. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, a lot of people struggle with that. I generally kind of get it, but also no, I don't think anyone really gets it. Maybe someone could explain it to us really.
Well, I just don't believe in a sense that I shouldn't say I don't feel that somebody living in the city, I travel, so it's not like I'm just talking from Hicktown, Mansfield here. Right. I don't even want to say beliefs, but their needs are the same as my needs. They are not.
They are not.
They are not.
Correct.
I have a yard. I
Right.
have animals that are inside and outside. Here, if it snows, kids don't go to school. Kids can't walk to school unless they live
Sure.
right in town. There's just so many different needs than what they have. Their 1-bedroom apartment in New York City is probably $500,000.
Right.
Here, $500,000 buys you a 6,000 square foot something,
I
whatever.
think that's a huge problem with politics in general. It's the same thing you're saying, but it extends to the candidates, because a normal person
Yeah.
couldn't afford to run for president. You can't
Yeah.
be a normal person. I mean, I could run for president on paper.
Sure.
I hit all the qualifications, but I couldn't. So that already, I think, makes the process even more messed up. Is you can't just vote for some really intelligent dude. It has to be somebody in the system,
Right.
with
'Cause
money.
where would you get your money for advertising or to get yourself
Right,
out there?
right.
And, who's going to,
Yeah.
it's kind of like voting on the horse at the horse race that has bandages around his leg.
Yeah,
Right.
They're already getting ready too. I was just reading articles today about the next election.
Oh yeah, they're already
lining them up.
throwing in their names or whatever.
Yeah.
So I agree about this whole why at this point it's 2019. Why can't we tally everybody's votes and why doesn't everybody? I think that would change a lot of anger.
If people felt like they had more of an impact on.
Yeah,
Sure.
and at that point, we would definitely be able to say if you didn't vote, shut your lips.
Because it'd be a
And-
popular vote. And
Right.
So, yeah.
And it would truly mean that if you did and your candidate did not win, I'm sorry. But
I think a
more
lot of people
wanted the other.
I think a lot of people would agree with you on that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of makes me sad. I don't know why I went there, but
No, I mean, we were talking about politics and sex
Yeah.
robots and
yeah. Sex
Yeah.
robots. You keep going to the sex
yeah,
robots,
I know.
so-
We had some interesting conversations about that.
We do. So we were talking about religion. So
Right.
with religion, I don't understand why there's religions out there that feel that if you don't believe what they believe, they have a right to kill you or harm
Stalk you or and
harm
that
you
was some
or
of
be-
the accusations of Scientology is that kind of keep
saddens
tabs
me.
on you
And I also believe I also don't understand. I don't understand why there's certain religions out there that if you choose that religion, you grew up in that religion, but at some point in your life you choose that isn't exactly what you feel in your heart, and you want to go pursue other or be able to become knowledgeable of other religions.
Right.
That now nobody in your family will ever speak to you again. You're disowned, or
Yeah.
you have to run
like
away
the Amish,
or whatever. Yeah.
By the way. Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes me sad. That
we can
makes
call
me
them out
very,
because
very
they're not
sad.
watching. So
Yeah, they
no,
don't
that
have
is
the
sad.
internet.
It's
Well,
that's a. And by
do
the
they?
way,
I see Amish people with cell phones.
A
And
lot
I'm
of
not,
them-
by no means am I putting down anybody Amish.
Yeah,
I'm just
no.
saying that
they come
I-
up and work on the gas wells and stuff a lot.
there's a lot of Amish where we
Yeah,
live.
like when my brother was doing welding, they would ship guys in, get a van, drive in a bunch of Amish guys because
They
basically
don't drive. They do not
Right,
drive.
and
They
they-
hire people to drive them
right,
around.
and basically it's kind of like how it used to be with I don't want to call out any races, but say illegal immigrants or whatever who would do dirt cheap work.
Sure.
That's what the Amish do because
Are they dirt cheap? I don't
Well,
I mean,
the
they're
thing is-
phenomenal workers.
I don't know how cheap they are, but they're phenomenal workers and they don't take breaks. They don't believe in
Right.
breaks, so they just work their asses off the entire day.
Work like crazy,
Yeah.
and their quality of work is above and beyond.
Yeah.
They're just amazing.
But that's a religion.
hard
If you
workers.
leave, they'll
You're done.
They'll boot you. Yeah.
You're done. You're done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That makes
interesting.
me sad.
It's sad, yeah.
That makes me very sad.
What's really sad is here's this thing, this religion that it's basically, it guides you and whatever, and then you have hope for the future or the afterlife. And then it's they almost forget about right now. You know what I mean? You lose
Yeah.
your family, your friends.
I don't believe that religion should be anything other than your own personal relationship with God. And when I say God, I of course believe in my God.
Right.
I'm not trying to tell other people that their God is not God. But whatever that higher power is, I believe your religion should be based off of your personal relationship with that higher power, with that God. And
I think that's what it's supposed to be. I mean,
yeah.
and then that's where I think you run into problems with can't keeping tabs on people or violence in the name of your religion or whatever, like you're forcing it. And everyone's been guilty of it at some point, but like you're forcing it on other people. Even if it was when, missionaries or whatever forced a religion on a native people. Yeah, that's where.
I tell you, there was only one time in my life I can honestly say that I looked at somebody differently because of their choice as far as religion. And their choice was, I was in a relationship with somebody that had been my friend for many years. We ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend lovers,
right?
In a fantastic relationship. He's deceased now. I love him dearly. We got talking about religion, and
I'm so excited to hear where this is going. What
he doesn't believe in God.
Oh, he's just completely nothing. Just either an agnostic or a atheist. Atheist.
And
did he have any? Here's what I wonder about people who claim to be atheists. Does he just not believe in anything?
I don't know.
So I feel like you have to believe in something. It doesn't have to be like God. It's just like, do you believe in some sort of moral code or some sort of?
Well, he obviously believed in a good moral code because, he was my friend and I loved him dearly. And I just don't love people that are horrible people. But
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. Did he believe in anything?
Me. Well, he grew up believing in God. I mean, I talk to his mom all the time and she's lovely. And her and I have never had this conversation because I don't ever want her to believe that there's a possibility he's not in heaven.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
And later in years, he told me I became instantly angry. And the anger came from I didn't want to be my brother had just gotten killed in a car accident. I couldn't look beyond the fact that I had to believe in God because I wanted to see my brother again.
Right.
So I was in a mental state of my own that didn't want to see beyond.
I understand
holding
that.
on to something.
So for you, it made you angry because he's saying like,
he's saying I'd never see him again. I didn't want to have a relationship with something that, I'm just like, how can I have a relationship with you? Plus I had my son and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want my son to believe that there's not God.
Yeah.
And so it was really rough. Long story short, our relationship ended up failing, but we remained close. He was my best friend.
Why I asked too is if he had something he believed in is because I have always had this. I always feel like when I meet people people can believe whatever they want. I don't care.
Same here.
But I always find that sometimes people don't say what they mean. Like, for example, like I've met people who claim to be atheists, but really they're just really angry with a higher power. They're angry. Yeah. So I'm like, you're not an atheist. You're just mad at God. Or I meet people who are like, well, I don't believe in anything. But then like they believe in atheism almost, or they put a lot of effort into like, I'm this, or I'm a humanist or whatever. Like, so I feel like you're something. You might not believe in God per se on the paper, but you believe in something. So I'm always curious
what that is. It's really funny that you would say that because after my brother got killed in this car accident, at one point I flipped to the dark side in a sense. I call it, that dark.
I could see that. You're angry.
Oh, I was angry. Yeah. And so all I would say was, I'm spiritual. I believe in a higher power, but I was lost. I was very, very lost in trying to understand if we have a God,
why,
and he's a good God,
then why?
Why this beautiful human being that had never done anything horrible to anybody? Why him? Why not the murderers that are on death row or these people that molest little kids? Or why?
I think that's
that's the hardest part for me.
That's a huge problem.
In God.
Yep, that's a huge problem that a lot of people have. A lot of people close to me. A lot of people I know.
Well, your son has cancer, so that had to test your God.
It's interesting what happens with that. I mean, that's an entirely
you're torn.
Well, it's an entirely different subject. How it's shocking and upsetting and whatever, but it was like, strangely, a lot of the good things that have happened in the last 3 years since his diagnosis. Like, of course, okay, on paper, a 5-year-old with cancer, that is so, horrible. But then like the things that happened, the kindness of people, the things, the things he's got to experience, the places he's got to go, the things he's got to see, these camps he's gotten to go to, these kids he's met. Even for me, like, you know what people don't like to think about? Little bald kids with cancer. And I was the same way. No one wants to think about that shit. And then, you know, now it's like, I think I was that person who it's convenient to be like, oh man, like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to think about it. And now it's like, dude, these are just little kids that I've met. So like, it's been life-changing. And as horrific as it was at first, you see and learn and you grow as a person so much. And I think that happens a lot of times with tragedy. Now I understand why people are, I know, like I was going to say, I know a lot of skeptics, a lot of people who are like, why that sort of thing? Why these awful things?
I'm going to tell you. So obviously, you know, I go to Victory Church,
right.
And I asked for one-on-one counseling with Pastor Josh. And I told him this was my struggle. This was my struggle. And the way that Josh explained it to me was, God doesn't give little kids cancer. God doesn't kill people. God doesn't do those things. That's the devil. And the devil's doing that to do exactly what he achieves from it. He makes people angry at God, and it separates us from God.
Maybe.
And that I never thought of it that way.
Well, if you think
I thought is, well, why didn't you save him? Why did he die? Why did you know?
Well, I think of even in the Bible, like the devil tests Jesus. He tempts him. He says, like, you're out in the wilderness, like, just you're already a god. Just make yourself some food or drink or whatever. So I get that. I also think a lot of times, I think like, even if it's not an evil thing or a devil thing, like, I think if you believe in something, it comes down to free will too, right? So if there's a creator, there's God, and you're created, you have free will, and everything happens and anything can happen. And I think that's part of it too, where like sometimes horrible things happen, and sometimes amazing things happen. That's what life is. Like, life is amazing, and there's awful things too, but it's like, if the creator interfered in every little thing, then you don't have free will. You're just a robot. You're already programmed to do all this stuff. So yeah, awful stuff happens, amazing stuff happens, and everything in between. But like, that's the price of freedom. That's the price.
And we're not at our last life. We are on the earth, and we are human, and people die, and like you said, and then there's amazing things that happen. So I have a girlfriend right now that, I look at her every day. She just got her reconstruction surgery, and I've kind of left her alone this week. She had it on last Monday, and I look at her and I'm like, wow, like, I went to meet with her and she was bald, and I'm like, you rock the bald, man.
Yep.
And I know everybody else kind of like, she even told me, we've talked about it, you see, it doesn't even matter if they're 5. Yeah. You're rocking the bald, and they have the slightest indication that, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I looked at her and she had this wig thing, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
And she just kind of looked at me. I go, I want to see it. I want to see.
Yeah.
She takes off her stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, you've got a beautiful head.
Yeah.
Like, her head is gorgeous.
I think that's so helpful. That's the thing. And that's kind of what I experienced too, is like, people didn't know what to say.
Oh,
people,
yeah.
Like, he didn't know what to say to me, didn't know what to say to him, didn't know what to say to his mom. But like, it's one of those things where like, it's still a normal little kid.
Yeah.
It's still
kid.
Whatever. Like,
high five him, man.
High five him. Give him a toy if you're
like,
super cool. Like, do whatever. But like, it's not, you don't have to ignore it or pretend like it didn't happen or whatever. So, but it's something you have to learn. But again, learned a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So, and everybody grew. He grew. He's never going to be a wimpy kid ever.
Oh, what an amazing opportunity for him to see life through a different person's eyes for the rest of his life. And if you always remind him down the road of all the amazing things that he has seen, he'll probably never forget it. But
he won't. And his big brother won't. His big brother learned so much.
Sure.
And it's one of those things where like, all that experience, all that love, all that knowledge, all those new friends, like, it's way better than how effed up and horrible the diagnosis was. So it's a weird thing.
Do you think your feelings would change if he was in a bad place?
If he was in a bad place, I mean, it'd be a million times harder. It's the hardest on the parents. It's the hardest on the person.
You love that. You don't want them to feel pain.
Yeah, or your friend, the person closest to that person. It's usually family. Maybe it's like a spouse. I guarantee it's hardest on them.
I think these little kids, it's Callie.
Yeah.
I mean, even when she knew she was dying, she was thinking of others, you know,
Right.
and I think that we put so much pressure on ourselves, you know, and these little kids do it so gracefully. They take disease and dying so gracefully. Why can't we do that as
so
adults?
many people?
Why can't we as a society get back to understanding that we all don't see through the same set of eyes?
Yeah.
We're all different. Our DNA, our fingerprint, every part of us is different. But we all have a mission why we're here.
Yeah.
And that love, I believe, love should be, regardless, I think every religion out there believes that their God comes from love. So I don't care who your God is. Start with love first.
It goes full circle. It goes back to the religion. It goes back to the politics we were talking about. Like, just everyone needs to just stop right now. Take a deep breath. Stop arguing online, on Facebook, all this stuff. Just
talk like adults.
Just love each other. Just, it doesn't,
understand
we all
that
have
we have
different
the right
opinions, different backgrounds.
Yeah. You have a right to yours. I have a right to mine. And if I don't agree with yours, that's great. I might ask you a question so you can
talk about
maybe
a dialogue about that.
Me.
Yeah, how about that?
I think I told you that a lifelong friend, I just asked for the question. I just asked a question because I don't understand.
Right.
It has to do with the
and
wall.
And that's okay. Ask it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I'm just like, okay, so I know in my mind, I want a wall. And there's reasons why I want a wall. And so when I asked this question, you know, to somebody that didn't, I was just like, tell me, would you allow the people that are coming in illegally to live in your home?
And it turns into a fight, though. It turns into a fight.
Immediately went into, oh, that's something a Christian would say. And I'm like, okay, where'd religion come from?
Right.
You know, so it really hurt my feelings. I'm not going to lie. And some girl jumped on me on Facebook that I didn't even know. And I just said to her, I'm going to pray for you in a sense. Yeah. Because I'm not here to argue. I'm just looking
for answers
to see through your eyes.
Well, and you know,
that's
like anything,
I just want to understand it.
Like anything, whether it's like the argument over like a border wall or anything.
Right.
There's two sides, people with two opinions at least.
That's what makes it so great.
And it's either going to happen or it's not. So in the end, I always feel like that with like elections too. It's like, yeah, maybe I like this guy better, this woman. It doesn't matter. Ultimately, like, it's, you know, it doesn't matter. It's not going to affect your life that much.
It really
You've never gotten
matter.
a new leader or a new thing happened that was like, oh my God, now everything's going to be completely different. It's not. You're still going to go grab a coffee in the morning and do your stuff. And, you know, ultimately, like, fight against evil stuff, fight against terrible things. Like, don't let your like, you know,
they talk about the climate or whatever. Let's talk about it. You know, let's talk about things. I think we have this amazing thing called the internet, and it's being used as a tool to do hateful, hurtful things to people. Somewhere, somehow, we need to put things out where people can be informed on both sides. And ultimately, not everybody's going to agree.
No.
It doesn't matter.
Not ever. Yeah.
Not ever.
You just have to.
And they never have.
No.
And wars have happened for years.
Right.
And there's walls. I was just watching the History Channel. We always
we love the History Channel.
And they were showing the Great Wall of China is hundreds of miles long.
Yeah.
It's a wall.
When I was a kid, I watched a movie in school about the Berlin Wall back when Germany was all divided by the Berlin Wall. And that was crazy too.
You know,
people tried to like hot air balloon over it and stuff. And
yeah, that was in a sense, that's a sad story because families were completely separated.
North and South Korea are like that.
But that's not what we're trying to do. We're just trying to say, if you want to come into this country, do it legally.
I don't even know if I agree with you, but I'm not angry.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't even know if I completely agree with myself.
Right.
I'm torn on it because I've traveled to other countries and I've been to Honduras and you know, and I see how poor it is. And I get it. I get that there is violent crimes happening to women and children in different countries. I agree with that. We just need to find a process that brings
safely
the
get
people that
refugees
need
and-
help here and keep the ones that were abusing or hurting these people out.
Right.
And I don't know what the other answer is, but right now, in my
And if-
eyes, a wall would at least start that process
I
of
feel like
stopping
if
people
we
just
had a
coming
good
over.
dialogue instead of an argument too, where everybody
Let's run
could
for
try to
president.
figure out, you know what?
Who's
Michelle-
going to be the president? Who's going to be the vice president? That's what I want.
come
Oh,
on.
come on. Well,
Michelle and Ryan 2020. That's right. Vote us up.
did you get that? Michelle and Ryan,
Yes.
president, vice president.
I don't
we
care.
would probably have a better chance.
Look at Bush and Cheney though. Cheney was the mastermind behind the.
Well, I was just about ready.
So you could be the
have a better
president.
chance if you went for it. I don't know if anybody's
But
ready
they-
for a strong, crazy lady like me. To
Hillary
run for
ran.
president.
Strong crazy lady. Come on.
Don't you even
Boom.
compare me.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Into the Light with Ryan and Michelle. Good talk today.
It was a good talk.
Thanks for
we said
watching.
we were going to talk about Elvis.
Yeah, we were going to talk about Elvis, but Elvis has left the building. Maybe next time. We're also Matt wants to come back and talk about Nazis. Did you know that?
So I'll tell you what. Why don't we schedule the podcast, because I am going to be on a boat floating around in the ocean for one of the Mondays. So why
Maybe I'll
don't
have
we,
Matt on and talk to him about Nazis.
Have
but
Matt, actually 2 Mondays. So
okay, well we'll.
I
keep-
don't know if I
maybe
want to
I'll-
talk about Nazis. I
Maybe I'll call
watched the
you.
videos where
Did
what
you
they've
watch
done.
some?
I've watched the videos and what they've done to what they did to those poor people.
One of the hardest movies to watch
Makes me
was
so
Schindler's
upset.
List. Oof, yeah, it's brutal.
And what's the one that he it brings tears to my eyes.
It's awful. Yeah.
The dude that was in the Olympics or whatever, and he went over. What is that movie that just come out? I have that one too.
No idea.
And the one, it's a real story, a true story, and the one Nazi guy was just horrific.
Bring it in. I'll watch that too, along
So
with
sad.
that 7 pounds or
8 pounds.
8 pounds.
You've got
I
to
was a
see
pound
that.
short.
I can only watch it if I need a good cry.
I'll watch
So 8 pounds, you guys.
Yeah.
Conspiracy coffee.
Yes.
Sorry about no Elvis, but a good talk today.
Yeah, good talk. Thanks for watching. As always, you can listen at soundcloud.com/Into the Light podcast. All the episodes are here on YouTube. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Say hello, leave a comment, start a dialogue. We don't care.
Start taking up a collection for the Michelle and Ryan running for president.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you next time.
See ya.